Oh my gosh, I'm not tall enough.
We're gonna adjust. It's right on top of the ice. Good morning, Hornet Nation, and welcome to Gambucci Ice Arena in beautiful Grand Forks, North Dakota, where your Bantam Hornets will be taking on the BW Blades. Breckenridge Wahpeton. Some sort of frontier outpost. I'm not sure, but no doubt they grow them big out on the prairie. So, with that said, we're just moments away from puck drop. Just to recap, last night the Hornets, with some uneven play, came out on the winning side with a 7-4 victory versus Twin Lakes, which is near Brainerd somewhere. Northern Lakes. So, it's early. It's an interesting arena. We're right on top of the ice, so some of the sight lines might not be as perfect as we would want it. But with that said, the boys are getting their last instructions, and we hope for certain victory here this morning. So we'll be back in a second. All right. We're going to start out with Bergmeyer, Wilkins, and Kervita, backed up by Bauer and Helmer. And away we go. Blades now forcing it up the near side wall as they gain the line and they roll around the circle. A quick shot turned away by Bambry. Furious action already in these early stages as Bergmeyer sends it around to Helmer up to Wilkins. Wilkins through the neutral zone, pitching it down and blowing a tire as he entered the Blade zone. Bergmeyer from behind the net surveys, gets it to Wilkins. Wilkins goes down again. Got to get those skates sharpened. As Helmer pinches up on the boards, and it's Bauer who has to sweep it up on the backside as he looks up ice. Long stretch pass intercepted at the red line and thrown down into the Hornet end. Opening stages, Hornets have yet to gain possession. Now it's Helmer rolling up, long stretch pass, and this one will go down for an icing at 14:09 and no score on the board. This reminds me of Braemar Rink 2, or Bloomington Rink 2, with the overhang, the old overhang before they remodeled. Dorsey on the draw, tied up on the dot. Boys coming away, and Hester rolls through the neutral zone. He's got Ewers as he works across the blue line. He's tied up. Dorsey sweeps it, goes rink wide, and the Blades pick it up on the wall and pitch it down into the Hornet end for another icing. Okay, so we have no cell signal, or very low, so we have to rely on Wi-Fi. I know it was pixelated yesterday. So any complaints, you can just stuff it in a sock. Dorsey on the draw, throws it back just beyond Potts' reach, and Potter's going to have to clean this one up. Cycling around the net, rolling from the corner, he loses the handle. Now Dorsey rolls through his zone, slides it up to Ewers. Ewers gains the line on the right side, tries to squeeze around, but he's pinched off by the Blades, who send it around to the near side. Now looking for a breakout, intercepted by Hester, thrown up to Dorsey. Dorsey in his skates. Now it's Ewers in the slot, firing, leg save, firing again, nothing. In the corner, Hester wheels, deals, looks at his options. Around the circle, throwing it down to Dorsey. Dorsey in the corner, looking, sliding it. Oh, a one-timer by Hester. Beautiful pass connection, but salted away nonetheless by the Blades tender. And we get a line change. A lot of line scrambling this tournament as Nolan, Ivany, and Ferrara roll on with Darlene and Mizzle. Nolan on the draw. Puck comes away and the Blades cycle behind. Looking at options. Soft pass thrown up on the boards. Sneaks down, icing is waved off, and Mizzle will be the first man back. Mizzled around the cage, looks up, loses the handle a little bit, tries to force it up the wall, and the Blades just punch it right back down. Darlene to collect behind the net. Soft pass to Ivany. Ivany tries to pitch it up to Nolan, stopped on the line and pinched down. Darlene sliding to Ferrara. He gets it up. Nolan now streaking in. It's Nolan. Nolan firing into the uppers. And the seal has been broken, and the Hornets take a 1-0 lead at 12:59 in the first. With a breakaway by Nolan, who finds the uppers. So we're going to keep that same dynamic front line out there and swap out Helmer and Bauer. Helmer from the backside up to Nolan at the red line. He gains, he walks in, he fires. And the flashing leather of the tender snaps it away. So Bergmeyer, Wilkins, and Kervita roll on. Bergmeyer on the draw. Bergmeyer on the dot. Blades come away and they pinch it up the near side wall. Helmer disrupts play and throws it right back down to Wilkins. Wilkins drives around the circle. Looks to center. There it is out front, banging, nothing. Wilkins from the corner. Out front again. No connection on the pass as Helmer pinches up and cranks it. Right into the breadbasket of the tender. As Kervita battles his man right on the dot. Throwing back to Bauer. Bauer skates in and it goes into the webbing. The A-track, the whole deal. It's a very bright arena. As the face-off to the left of the Blades tender. Bergmeyer on the draw. Puck held up. Bauer sends it right back down to the corner to Bergmeyer. Bergmeyer wheels around the dot, trying to work it. Now it's Kervita's turn. He throws it right on the clanker. Wilkins from the dot. He's going to do his damage. Walks across the crease area. And it's swept away down to the far side. Bauer pinches up on the wall. Blades stop him short. Trying to work it out of the zone. They pinch it up and take a big hit. And thrown to the wall. As Bauer from the backside looks up. Stretches to Wilkins, who taps it down into the Blades' end. Bergmeyer giving chase. Works it. Tries to center it. He blows a tire. Wilkins from the corner. Slides it across, and it hits traffic as the Blades now tilt the ice back the other way through the neutral zone, working around Helmer. Bauer into cleanup on the backside. Turns, Burns, looks up. He's dealing with two Blades guys as they work it. Up on the wall, stopped on the line. But here's Wilkins. Can Wilkins spring it? Wilkins working it. Trapped off as the rest of the Hornets go for a break. Here come the Blades working in, blowing a tire on the line. Ewers picks up the pass. He rolls in on the left side. Around the circle, driving in, trying to force a shot in, but it's stopped by the Blades tender. Blades blowing tires all over the place as Potter now works it in the neutral zone, looks for space. Back to Potts. Potts surveys, slides it to Hester just beyond his reach, and the Blades pitch it up on the near side wall. Driving down into the zone. Blades with speed, trying to work it. Bambry bobbles, but he covers at 10:46. So I've got confirmation that there might be no stock stuffing because the video does look pretty good. As Dorsey is set to take the draw. Puck tied up, comes away to Hester. Hester now drives through the red line. He's working his way through, and it's swept back by the Blades as they punch it back through the neutral zone from the blue line. Blades slide it. They go D to D all the way up on the line. Stopped by Potts, who loses a stick. And we get a hooking call. The Hornets will be on the man advantage with 10:28 in the first with a 1-0 score. Big number 88, Eric Lindros, will do 2 minutes for hooking. As Dorsey, Curvita, and Hester take up the front line, backed up by Bauer and Mizzle. Oh, that's Nolan. These black jerseys. Interesting. This tournament format calls for 1 minute and 30-second penalties.
That's what they're waiting on.
I stand corrected. The clock person does not know the format, and it is indeed 2 minutes. So we wait. There we go. Nolan on the draw. Slides back to Hester, who drives it back to Mizzle. Mizzle from the point. A shot hits traffic and slides down to the corner where Bauer sweeps it around the cage. He gets it to Hester. Hester looks. Back to Nolan. Nolan from the point. Slides it across to Mizzle. Mizzle looks. Down to Bauer. Bauer, short side shot. Turned away by the tender. Held on the line momentarily, but Mizzle's going to have to clean this one up. He turns, he slides, he works. From the backside, with speed, rolling through the red line. Trying to drive it past. He gets it, he gains it. Slides it into the high slot. Hester turns, burns on the circle. Looking behind the cage. Wheels, deals to Nolan on the wall. Nolan looks. Back to Bauer at the high point. All the way down to Mizzle. Mizzle drives in, fires. Hits traffic as the Blades are on their back heels. Trying to force it out of the zone. Right out in front. Banging. Nothing. And we get a whistle as the net is off its moorings. With 9:33. Minute 5 left in the man advantage. Fresh horses are brought in with Bergmeyer, Wilkins, and Ivany backed up by Darlene and Ewers. Bergie on the draw. Blades pitch it up the wall, and it's intercepted by Darlene at the point. He walks across the line. Down to Ivany. Ivany playing catch with Darlene. Back to Ivany, back to Darlene. Darlene back to Ivany. Ivany from the circle, driving in, firing into the net. And the power play goal succeeds. And the Hornets are up 2-0 at 9:14. They were dazzled by the back and forth between Darlene and Ivany, and they were caught sleeping. As Nolan Ferrara and Ivany are on, backed up by Potter and Potts. On the line, Blades dump it down into the Edina end where Potter picks it up behind the net. Slides it back to Potts. Potts throws it up on the wall to Ferrara. Just beyond his stick, and the Blades pitch it back at center ice. Hornets driving, trying to bang it off the boards, trying to gain the line. And it's thrown down into the Blades' end. Blades cycle around to the near side, throwing it up on the wall. Picked off by Nolan, who drives it right back down. The Blades will have to start again. Ivany battling on the wall. Ferrara working it. Bank pass back to Potter. Potter from the point. Long shot, tip, nothing. Nolan sliding it behind the cage of Ferrara out front. Slides across the crease. Ivany couldn't get there. Ivany from the wall. Back down to Ferrara. Ferrara dishes it back. He's held up on the wall. Comes to Nolan. Nolan tried to center the pass. Hit traffic. And now the Blades breaking with speed. Rolling down. Bambury out. Fires it up the wall. And the Blades punch it right back down. Intercepted by Potter. Potter rolls through the neutral zone. flips over Ivan's stick, and the blades counter back the other way. Working through the neutral zone, gaining on the left side and punching it down. Potter sweeps behind the net, all the way up, just beyond Ferrara's stick, and back to the blades as they go D to D, looking for daylight. All the way up through the neutral zone. Potter now on his horses, has to retrieve, banking it back, sliding it up to Ivany. Ivany chips it up the wall to Nolan. It's a foot race, and it just might be icing. And indeed, that is the case with 7:25 in the first. Shots are 7-2 in favor of the Hornets.
You got 15 fans at 8:30 in the morning.
The nation has come out. 15 people in this early morning tilt. Dorsey on the draw, tied up on the dot. Dorsey works away. Now, 3-on-2 odd man rush situation. Dorsey rolling through the red line, gains the line, sweeps it around his man, down to the corner. He works it, looking, sliding it to Ewers. Ewers back to Dorsey, flips over his stick. He's bumped into the boards. Ewers comes in to pick it up. Ewers around the dot, sliding it out front. A one-timer by Hester, and it's in the back of the net. At 7:02, the Hornets build their lead to 3.
Didn't break his stick, still scores goals. Gotta go get one today.
Yeah, Hester's got to take care of that stick. That's the last one he's got.
It is. Well, we got a few left-handers about that night, so.
Off the draw, Hester slides it back. Helmer from the backside. Throws it over to Bauer. Up to Dorsey. Through the red line. He gains in the center. Works his way through. Toe drags it. Swept away at the last second as the Blades now counter back. Driving through the red line. Stopped by Helmer right on the line. Blades slide it across. Working through the red line. Trying to drive it in. And finally punching it down into the Edina end. Bauer on the backside. Stolen away. And picked up by Dorsey, who slides it up to own. It was tipped just at the last moment as Hester picks it up on the line. Tries to drive in, working his way. Swept off the puck. Right out front, Kervita firing a shot, goes wide. Hester from the corner, slides it back to Kervita in the corner. Right out front, hits traffic, pass didn't connect as the Blades work it up the wall. Helmer tries to pinch, and Bauer has to take things from behind as Helmer now drops, looks up ice. Through the blue line, racing in on the dot, firing a shot. Rebound traffic, nothing as the Blades counter back. Working it through the red line now, pitching it down into the Hornet end. Looks like Helmer's gonna get a penalty as he drove his man into the boards. Helmer knows he's guilty. He just went straight to the box.
He also went and apologized.
And he did apologize. So at 5:42, the Blades will have their first man advantage. Down 3 goals, they need to make something happen.
They might give him a boarding penalty.
Refs conferring whether a more onerous call will be made. I couldn't really see it because we're perched up over the ice.
I heard it,
We heard it. We heard some banging.
but
Well, we'll see.
got a misconduct.
It is indeed a 2 and 10.
Boarding. I can hear him.
I think. No. Kervita is going back in. No, I don't know what it is.
He said 2 and 10.
Did he?
I think they're looking up the penalty right now. There's like I can hear perfectly like they have
There's a little known codicil in the Grand Forks Tournament rule book which needs to be consulted to get the correct call. It is indeed a 2 and 10. Looks like Curvita is going to join Helmer in the box. So we will be out without the services of Helmer for the next 10 minutes.
Does it start now, or does the 10 start after the 2?
I think it starts after the 2, but I'm not sure.
I should know that.
All right, got that sorted out. So Wilkins on the draw. He's working with Bergmeyer, Mizzles, and Darlene. Pitched up the wall to the far side as Bergmeyer tries to chip it up. And he hits someone in the Edina bench. And we will do it again. Off the draw, Darlene from the corner. Bangs it around to the near side. Up on the wall, Wilkins punches it out. And it's retrieved by the Blades on the backside. Looking up ice. Stretch pass connects to the far side. Driving, gaining the line. Working their way down. From the corner, looking to set something up behind the cage. Blades taking their time, and it's picked off by Wilkins, who tries to drive it out, but it's held on the line. Blades now working their way in on the near side. Dropping it on the circle. Working it on the wall. It slides back to the high point. Back to the point, down to the circle. Pass doesn't connect as Mizzle now works against the Blades as they try to set up something. From the circle, wheeling around, all the way across. A one-time cranker. Certified fresh, but snagged out of the air by Banbury. With 1:07 left in the man advantage. So Nolan and Ferrara on. Backed up by Potts and Potter. Off the circle. Blades wheel from the corner, now behind the net. Looking. Wheeling around. Potts giving pressure. Back to the high point. Driving in, looking. Sliding down to the corner. Blades pitch it behind the net. Darlene, first man in. Tries to bang it up. Sneaks it out of the zone, and the Blades will have to reset. Sweeping up the near side. Working to gain access, throwing it down, legged aside by Banbury, and pitched out of the zone. Blades from the blue line. Nolan pestering. It's up the far side wall. Now across the blue line, looking. Waiting for onsides, driving in, and Potter sweeps it across. A centering pass goes nowhere. The Blades are having trouble gaining traction. Here's a break for Nolan. Streaking in. Shorthanded opportunity. Wheeling. Dealing. Over the net. Nolan still working behind the cage. Looking. Sliding around the dot. Looking. From the point. Nolan now driving in. A firing shot is waffled away. From behind the net, the Blades now look to set up. Hornets back at full strength. As it's pitched down to the wall to Ivany. Ivany tries to work it up the wall. It's centered right out front. Ferrara fires off the side of the twine. Blades pinned down in their own ends. They look to counter. Sliding all the way across. Picked off on the line. Oh. We get a slashing call. So the Hornets will be on the man advantage with 3:12 to go in the first. So we're going to have Dorsey, Ferrara, Potter, backed up by Potts and Bauer. Ferrara on the draw. Comes away to Potter, who throws it to Potts at the point. Over to Bauer. Bauer, low shot, firing, rebound, nothing. As the Blades try to gain possession and get it out of the zone. It's all alone as Ferrara in the corner wheels deals. He's looking, trying to drive in, trying to center it. Potter out front. Ferrara now wheels around the circle. Back to Bauer at the point. Bauer looks, slides it down to Potts, all the way across. Looking, firing. Nice shot, but turned away by the Blades tender. Around on the dot. Oh, on the backside. Potts couldn't find the connection. Held in the zone by Bauer. Bauer throws it down to Potts. Potts wheels in. Potts looking, trying to center. All the way back to Dorsey on the circle. Back to Bauer at the point, looking, firing a low shot. There it is, rebound, nothing. Slides all the way across. Ferrara now, wheeling at the point. More wheeling as he leaves it to Dorsey. Dorsey from the point, looking, down to Ferrara. Ferrara drives in, tries to go upstairs, nothing. Back right on front, another jamming shot. Potter tries to find it, nothing. It's back to Dorsey on the wall. Dorsey from the corner, looking. Slides it back to Bauer. Bauer now down low to Ferrara. Ferrara tries to chip it over, banging, nothing. Ferrara now again fires it across, and it's home. And Potts finds the back of the net with 1:43 in the first. It is 4-0 in favor of the Hornets. Good puck movement, and the Hornets were rewarded thusly. So Bergmeyer, Wilkins, Kervita, backed up by Mizzle, Dahlin. Blades come away and they drive over the blue line. A long shot misses its mark from behind the cage. Mizzle sweeps it to the corner, and it's picked up by the Blades as Bergmeyer runs his man into the ball. Puck comes away, slides up on the backside of Kervita, but it's held and pitched right back down. Mizzle from the near side with speed, throws it up. Wilkins loses it in his skates, but he managed to drive it all the way down. Kervita from behind slides it across to Bergmeyer just a bit far, and the Blades now try to counter. Wilkins disrupts play in the near side wall, picked up by Mizzle. Mizzle drives across the line, leaves it for Dahlin. Dahlin a long shot, misses the mark. Blades from the corner, pitch it up on the wall. Now wheeling through the red line. Gaining on the right side, sliding across, intercepted by Mizzle, who now throws it up to Wilkins. Wilkins tried to leave it, he lost the handle a bit. And the Blades now punch it down into the zone where Dahlin picks it up behind the cage. Mizzle from the backside, looks up. He's gonna take it himself, driving through the neutral zone, working his way, slashing through players left and right, firing a shot, goes wide. Mizzle now on the line, into the slot area, and Dahlin finds the back of the net with 18.5 seconds left. Hornets 5, BW Blades nothing. Shots are 18-4. As the wave of relentless pressure does not give BW much hope. So Nolan, Ferrara, and Ivanion, backed up by Dahlin and Mizzle. Mizzle slides it to Dahlin. Dahlin punches it up to Ivany, who slides it across the line. Nolan working to keep it in. Ferrara throwing it out front. A one-time cranker. Oh, saved. Right out front, nothing. Hornets hold the zone. Ivany from the point, pinches up, throws it down to Nolan. And that's it. Hornets 5, BW Blades 0, and we'll be back.
Okay, this is new voice here. Going to give Dorse the second period off so that he can prep for a big third. But Potter's going to send that. Reminder, we got Helmer in the box for a few more minutes, so pairs are going to be a little bit different. But this one heads back to Potter. He'll grab it in the Edina zone. Puck up, a little high for Ferrara. And Ivany is going to play that, but the B-Dub Blades pass across ice. Shots on goal were 20-4 in the first, 5-0. So Hornets have had the better side of this. Knocked down and kept in by the Blades. Go behind Banbury, but Potter's going to take that up the end wall. Nolan with the puck. Passes up to Ivany. He's got space. He's going to make his way around. Try to tuck that in, but kept out by the B-Dub tender. Hornets have Bismarck this afternoon at 3:15, who are currently losing to the Northern Lakes team that the Hornets played last night. Forward lines changed up a little bit. Not sure what the discussion is. Dorsey, Ewer, and Hester, so. All right. We got it all good. Randy's having a good time. He found a bouncy chair. Puck makes its way to Hester. He circles, leaving that for Bauer. JJ. Goes into the zone, tries to center that one, but it's blocked by a Blades. Ewer's back checks hard, picks up the puck, takes it back. Bauer holds it in. Eventually Dorsey's going to find it on the end wall. Bauer, he'll make a couple nice moves, but the Blades knock that out. Mizzle regroup in the neutral zone, bring it back into his zone. He's got a little space, so it looks like he's going to want to take that. He'll play it behind the net, send it around the boards, back to Bauer. Bauer ends up getting it back to Mizzle. To Bauer. Bauer's going to get a shot off the crossbar. Dorsey instinctively says clanker, but that's for the Dorsey call. Mizzle plays it back to Bauer. He's going to go through. Got Hester across ice with a nice pass. Into the zone. He'll take a shot. Hornets looking for a line change, and the Blades work to break it out. Played back to the goaltender. Not sure if that was an intentional play, but nonetheless, it's a whistle at 12:41 remaining in the second.
Trey gave you a look.
Trey did look up, wondering what's going on. So Darlene and Potsy going back to mites on that little pair. Berge gets taken off the puck. Wilk's going to grab that. He looks to give it to Darlene, over to Potsy. Just out of reach for him, up to Wilkins, but Potts is going to play it back down in the corner to Wilkins. Wilkins is taken off the puck. Blade tries to make a breakout. Potsy's right there. Hold that in the zone. Blade's going to make it out. Potsy with a nice back check to get back in position. Here come the Blades. It's going to exit the zone, so they're going to have to get back on side. 5 over to 12er. 12 plays it behind Banbury. Potsy races down. He's going to battle it out. A little scrum down in the corner. Potsy using that lacrosse training to scrum it up a bit. Blades behind the net. 19's looking for the outlet. 5 keeps it in the zone. 2 behind the net looking for a centering pass. But Hornets are doing a good job keeping defensive pressure. Darlene's going to grab the puck. He just ahead for Kervita. Makes it down into the corner on the... Oh! Jesus. Okay. Potsy holding the line. Darlene again gets a puck. Curvita across the blue. And that one's kept out. So 10:52.
We're up to 20, man. You're stealing the show.
I guess that's what happens. It's a good one. He's smiling on the bench. Face off. Controlled by the Blades. But Farrar's going to win that battle. Nolan gets a puck. He'll play it back for Potter. Potter flips it back into the corner for Ferrara. He'll cycle around. There's a couple nice moves there, but just out of reach of Nolan. He's got the puck. He's going to hold it. He'll hold it. Play it back for Bauer. Bauer. Deflected up into the corner. Ivan able to win that one. He'll leave it for Potter. He's got some space. Nice pass for Ferrara. Tries to flip it back up over the goaltender, but kept out. And into the neutral zone for Ivany. He'll make a move. He's got some space. Picks up some speed. Cross and flips it up and in. That's a nice little flip. You can take a super hard shot, get past them, or you can perfectly place a shot at any speed. That was a beauty. Blades. That gets played up beyond for Ewers. Darlene holds the blue. Just passed out of reach for him. Mizzo play it back for Darlene. Hester plays it for Darlene. He's going to flip it around. He'll get some space. Shoots that one up into the tender. That Blades break out, but Mizzo going to take up. All right, so I'm not sure what's going on here. But Dorsey will start in his own zone. He'll take it out. 19's looking for him. But Mizzelt's got it. So he'll come across. Got Ewers. Nice pass there. Oh, and he tries to thread the needle on that one. Mizzelt to Doris. Darlene scores. So that'll make it the extra point for a 7-0 game. 8:49 left in the second. Shots 29-5 for the Hornets. Wilkes works. Puck makes the way back to Potter. Helmer's, gotta be out of the box here pretty soon. He keeps looking up. Oh, here he comes. So he'll be out of the box next. Get back to the other pairs. But Potsy will play it for Wilkes. Wilkes back for Potsy. Tough to see for us. Potter, nice move. Potter flips that one. That one's flipped up. Potter will grab that, makes a move. He's gonna break it out on his own. Flips up to Berge. The Blades are off sides. Helmer is brought back. Coach will send him out. Helmer right off the bat will try to play that up to Nolan. Oh, slips back, goes to the side of the net. So Banbury doesn't need to worry about that. Nolan takes his man off the puck. JJ, toss that up, try and take it on his own, but ends up with Ivany. He'll flip it all the way around to Helmer. So Hornets will start to work on their breakout. Flipped up to Ferrara, cross ice to Ivany. Nolan holds on to that one. He's flipped and tipped by Ferrara. So 8-0. JJ sends that over to Nolan. Flipped up to Ferrara. He's going to, almost went off the blade skate. Ferrara, nice pass down to Helmer. And that goes in.
Helmer score.
Helmer from behind the net. Dorse, across the blue. Oh, flip back. Blades through the neutral zone, across the blue line. Dorse with a nice back check to get to it. Wilk's gonna end up with the puck. He's gonna come out. Ewers across the ice, but Wilk's gonna keep going. A little bit of chin music there. Ewers for Mizzle. Ewers gets that shot off. Wilkes tries to slide it over, but nobody's home on that one. Blades come back out, but that's intercepted by Wilkins. He stays in the slot. Blades trying to get a breakout. Wilkes gets it back. Ewers is going to try and go across ice. It's going to end up coming out of the zone. Missile will grab it in the neutral zone. Leaves for Ewers. Back for Mizzle. Cross ice. Trying to find Dorsey. Goes off Wilkins' stick. He gets chopped down. But the Blades are going to just ice it. It's not going to make it, so the Hornets are going to have to come out. Ewers flips it up to Mizzle. Put it into the zone. 5:23 left in the second. The Blades. Hester, he's battling. Ewers going to join that fray. Sent across. Hester intercepts that one. He'll keep it in the zone. Ewers tips it. Goes up in the air, but got back by Ewers. Back for Dorsey. Dorsey bumped off the puck, leaves that for Ewers. Behind the net, he's looking for Darlene. Darlene shoots that in. Stops it again. Back for Hester. Hester, who's going to be the owner of a new trigger this afternoon. Missile. 4:30 left on the clock. Darlene. Passed over to Ewers. Ewers takes a shot. Played down off Darlene's shoulders. Played for Mizzle. Berge back for Mizzle. Mizzle into the zone. 12 takes a shot, looking to tuck that one in, but it goes high and wide. Curvita. He's got space. Nice pass over to Hester. Hester gonna leave it for Berge. Berge. Out of backhand passing. right, now we can sort of see. Oh, Bergie flips away, doesn't get hit. 88, Lindros leaves it for 8. Curvita, it's tripped off. That's great. No need to call that, I guess. Harmless. Borderline Bobby Orr on that. Oh, Hester takes him off the puck. Potsy comes in with a shoulder, but oh, here come the Blades. They pass it out. Oh,
that was it.
that would have been the shot. Potter McCarr, he's coming across. Nice hip check, kid. But Potter still battling. 2:40 left in the second. 9 rip. Hornets. That's not going to make it. The refs are doing the right thing. Ivany, he's going to skate up the boards. Puck's knocked off his stick. Played back down in behind Bambury. So Potter will race back off the boards to his partner, Potsy. He's got a goal today. Ivany flips that up. Nolan plays the puck, but he's knocked off. Dangerous pass out front, but no one's there for the Hornets. And the Blades got numbers come the other way. Potsy takes his man off the boards. Helmer flips it around to Ferrara. It's going to end up coming out of the zone, so Blades will have to regroup, get back on side, which they do. 11 works on the 9th shot, but doesn't quite get it there, so we'll stay at a snowman. Oh, it is close. Ty leaves it out, so it stays 9 rip. Don't fear, friends and family. The golden voice Doris will be back for the 3rd.
We're going to get another guest.
Another guest? Who? A mystery guest?
Randy's going to make the call in the 3rd.
Randy should make the call in the 3rd period. Face off controlled back by the Blades. It's played in on Bambury. Puck's out. Coach didn't like it, I guess, so he's going to make a line change for some reason. Okay. Blades played around for Bauer. Flip back to Helmer. Helmer's kicking away. He ain't going anywhere. Pinned up on the boards. 19 ends up back with it. Tries to pass it over up in the air, but Bergie knocks it out of the air. Bergie, he's going to come around. He's got space. Plays the backhand off the side of the net. Into the corner. Kid comes in, hits Bergie. Two. Leaves it. Oh, 12. Wilkes. Helmer joins the fray. He'll come out with the puck. Gets that out of the zone. Wilkes played back up for Bergmeyer. Bergmeyer, one hands over to Curvita and ends up back with Bergie. Then played by Bauer. He'll flip it into the zone. The Hornets going to go work on a line change. 8. Oh. Off Dorsey's stick. He's coming off line change. Gets everything back in order. Nice shot, but snuffed away. Hornets had 20 shots in the first period. Looks like they're going to end up with 20 in the second period. Unless Mizzle can get one last one here. And they score it, so it's 41 shots. 9-0 after 2. Be back in 15 minutes. Warm up your coffee. You don't need cream.
All right, we're back for the third and final frame. Hornets up 9-0. We're going to see a lot of switching up. We're going to see some D playing forward. And indeed, that is the case as the front line shows Potts, Helmer, and Darlene, backed up by Ferrara and Hester. So we got a whole new look. So Helmer set to take the draw. Fresh 15 on the clock, and away we go. BW gaining the line, working their way around the circle, centering it out front, swept aside, and Darlene looks up from the corner. Leaves it to Ferrara. Ferrara pitches it up to Darlene. Darlene on the wall, sends it back to Ferrara. Ferrara looks up ice, a little bit sticky as he goes all the way across. Chipped up in the air by Darlene, who works it into the zone. Punched out. Ferrara from the backside, sliding to Hester. Hester tried to get up to Potts. Potts from the red line. Punches it down. And the Blades look to counter. On the wall, Potts ties up his man. Blades cycling behind, slide it all the way across, and now through the neutral zone. Gaining the line on the right side, firing a shot, which goes wide. Helmer picks it up on the wall. From the backside, he gets it to Darlene. Darlene, cross-ice pass. Over to Ferrara. Ferrara sliding into Hester. Hester now on the wall. Looks up, gets it to Mizzle. Mizzle through the blue line. Racing down on the dot. Firing a shot. There's the rebound. It's out front. And Potts took out the goalie. But they let play continue. Sort of. The net was ajar. And Potter, Bauer, and Mizzle take up the front line, backed up by Nolan and Dorsey. Mizzle on the draw. Sliding back to Nolan. Nolan pinches up, looks on the circle, drives in on the dot, looking, firing. He just creased it into the uppers. With surgical precision. And we have reached double digits. Blades come away, roll in. Oh, and Nolan blows a tire. Not used to playing D. Swept away by Mizzle. Mizzle throws it up to Bauer. Bauer works his way through the red line. It's punched right back. Dorsey's going to have to pick this up. He doesn't know where to go. He's not a defender. So he slides it around to Nolan. Nolan looks up all the way across. Mizzle picks it up in his skates, and it's a 3-on-2 situation. Rolling in, leaving it to Bauer in the slot. Firing, banging, nothing. And saved by the Blades tender. A lot of excitement as the boys have taken up new positions.
They learned how the line change works, so they race them back like mites.
So we're going to have Kervita, Wilkins, Bergmeyer, backed up by Ewers and Ivany. Ewers from the point, sliding it to Ivany, one-time cranker, saved by the Blades tender. Punching out front, Blades tilt the ice back the other way. Through the neutral zone, through the red line, through the blue line, through a bunch of lines as they roll back around the cage, looking to center that pass back to the high point. A firing shot, hitting traffic, swept away by Bergmeyer. Ivany cycles behind the net. He's hassled by two Blades. It's picked up. It's almost in the zone. As Wilkins now with speed rolls through the neutral zone, sliding it up to Kervita. Kervita gains, looks, fires it across. Sticked aside by the Blades tender as it's thrown up on the far side wall. Bergmeyer trying to send it back to the point. Ivany does a good job, but can't quite hold the line. Bergmeyer has to pick it up at the red line, cycles back, looks at his options. Wheeling, dealing, pinched off the puck, and the Blades counter back and gain and throw it across. Intercepted by Helmer. Helmer cycles behind, looks up. Leaves it to Ivany. Ivany now sweeping across the ice through the neutral zone, gaining on the left side, rolling down, looking, trying to get it across. He's pinched off the puck, and the Blades counter. Free-flowing hockey with this new setup of defenders playing forward. Ferrara on the backside, trying to work it. Now in the slot, firing, saved, banging, nothing. Ewers working behind the cage. Hester sweeps it out from the slot and throws it up to Helmer. Helmer drives down the left side, working in, around the circle, looking, more looking, into the slot for Ferrara, firing. Goes off wide, Ferrara now in the corner, slides it back to Helmer. Helmer pinches it up into the arms of the Blades as they look to wheel it out of the zone. Hester from the backside, looking up, gets it to Darlene, back to Helmer. Hester. Hester now takes a run, wheels down, gains on the left side, cycles down, leaves it in the high slot for Darlene. Darlene fires, hits traffic. Ferrara from the wall, slides it down to Potts. Potts in the ref skates, all the way back to Helmer. Helmer back to Potts. Potts looks, all the way across. Pass doesn't connect. And the Blades chip it up the wall and look to exit the zone. Held by Darlene. Darlene rolls down on the dot, looking, sliding across, a short sider into the uppers. And the score is 11-0. With running time, we're approaching the 9-minute mark of the period as Mizzle, Potter, and Bauer line up on the line, backed up by Dorsey and Nolan. Mizzle off the draw, slides it to Nolan to Dorsey. Dorsey back to Nolan. Nolan chips it up on the wall to Bauer, who punches it down into the Blade's end. Potter gives chase into the corner and meets his man. Pounds it around his man, works him on the wall. Boys tied up. Blades punch it behind the net. Long stretch pass out of the zone. Can the Hornets hold it? No, it's out of the zone. Nolan from the backside punches it up into Mizzle's skate and back down into the Blade's end. Throwing it up on the wall. The Blades now work with speed through the neutral zone. Firing it down into the Hornet end. Nolan picks it up behind the net. Dorsey picks it up in the corner and dishes it right back to Nolan. Nolan from the corner. Up to Potter. Skips over his stick and Mizzle gives chase on the line. Now the Blades working back towards the Hornet end. Gain the line. Dorsey holding his man to the outside. Back to the point. Firing shot. Sticked aside by Bambry. Out front in the slot, picked up by Mizzle, who now charges back through the red line. Gains on the left side. Rolls in on the dot. Working it. Firing it. Scoring it.
The Starbucks order today. It's a good message.
This is the kind of service you get up here on the Great Plains. As the Hornets are up 12-0. Ivany, Ewers, and Bergmeyer on the line, backed up by Kervita and Wilkins. Puck comes away. The Blades look to push it across the red line, and they're held up. Ewers in, punching at it, comes away to Kervita, who slides it to Wilkins. Wilkins over to Ivany, who now works through the neutral zone, all the way up, runs into his own skates. And Bergmeyer deals from behind, looking up, curls, burns, turns, throws it to Wilkins. Wilkins slides it. Here's an opportunity as the Blades roll in, firing. Waffled aside by Bambry. Got to preserve the shutout, boys. Wilkins from behind the net. Looks up. Throws it up on the wall, intercepted by the Blades as they work from the corner. Trying to wheel deal, but the Hornets are too much. Held at the point. Picked up by Wilkins, who throws on the wall, and the Blades punch it right back down. And there is an offsides. So Darlene's going to take the draw this time. He's got Potter and Helmer on his wings. with Ferrara and Hester on D. Blades trying to drive it over the line. Boys all piled up on the line. Puck sneaks back to Hester, who throws it up the wall and all the way down into the Blades' end. Cycling around the net, Blades looking for breakouts, intercepted by Darlene. Darlene behind to Potts. Potts working against two guys as he throws it over to Helmer. Helmer from the sidewall. He's pinched into the glass. And the Blades sweep it across, and Darlene picks it off on the line, maintains on sides, and it's trapped away with 5 minutes on the clock.
Coaches should mind changing every whistle.
Yeah.
It's the best way to get through it.
Just a lot of downtime. Mizzled off the draw, tries to get it to Bauer. Blades working out of the zone, but it's swept up by Bauer, who gives it to Mizzled. Mizzled on the dot, firing. Weak shot turned aside. Potter from behind. Slings it over to Mizzled. Mizzled back to the high slot. Nolan punches it right back down. Potter from his knees, can't quite make the turn. Slinging across, a bit too much as Dorsey from the point fires it over the net. There's a rebound, banging. I thought there was something, but there is nothing. Now it's Ewers, Kervita, Wilkins, backed up by Ivany and Berge. Off the draw, puck sent behind the net. Racing around. Ewers looks, centers it out front. Kervita wheels, tries to center it, punched off the puck, pinned up against the glass, working it. Wilkins from the corner. One-timer by Ewers, steered aside. Kervita back to Wilkins. Wilkins looks, on the circle. Punch back to Ivany. Ivany chips it up to Wilkins. Centering pass. Ewers can't make the turn. Berge from the point. Slides it. A one-time cranker. Not a lot of juice on that one as Wilkins picks it up. Looking. Back to Berge at the point. Slides it across. Bergmeyer from the circle. Driving in. Still on it. Wilkins one-timer. And it's saved by the Blades tender. Helmer, Darlene, and Potts on the line.
All first years.
Backed up by Ferrara and Hester.
The full first year.
This is the first year ensemble. As now the Blades with speed rolling through the neutral zone. Ferrara racing. There's the centering pass. And the seal has been broken for the Blades as they punch it past some inexperienced defensemen. The score is now 12-1 with 2 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock. Mizzled set to take the draw. Swings around to Potter, who throws it up the near side wall. Blades pitching it up, sending it down into the Hornet zone. A quick long pass up to Mizzled. Mizzled breaking in. Mizzled firing. He whiffs. It's still out there. Bauer fires it in. Thirteen to 1. A lot of complaining on the Hornet end about too quick of line changes. They want to stay out there in their new configuration. So Wilkins, Ivany, Kervita. Bergmeyer, Ewers. Ewers from the backside. Surveys, looks up ice, tries to drop it. Berge, he's being pestered as it comes up the wall to Wilkins. Wilkins just past Kervita. Blades go D to D and punch it up the near side wall and now gain on the right side. Looking, trying to center it. Held up on the wall. Here's the break almost for Kervita as the Blades punch it right back down. We are less than a minute to play in this contest. Ewers sliding up to Ivany. Ivany looking up. Blades holding the zone. They get it, almost right out front. Golden opportunity. Sears steers it over to Wilkins. Wilkins from behind the cage. 30 seconds left. Sliding up to Kurvita. Kurvita now gains the line, works his way around. Throwing off the puck. The Blades desperately trying to work it. Short side shot, nothing. Net is off its moorings with 15 seconds left. The Hornets are racing out because they want one last chance. These defenders now forwards are smelling blood. I don't think we're going to get this in. And that's the game. Game 2 of the Grand Forks tournament goes in favor of the Hornets, 13-1, with 54 shots for the Hornets and 18 for the Blades. So I believe the next game is at 3:15 this afternoon. It's must-see appointment TV, so be there or be square.